street. Black Lightning's back.
Hello to all and welcome back into the channel for this week's review of the final episode of Black Lightning, which is chapter 2 of the Book of Resurrection titled Closure. Now, if you are new to the channel, please be advised we will deal heavily in spoilers as we discuss the events of this finale. And before we get started with our review, we have two quick announcements. Number one, I want to give you guys a heartfelt thank you for watching and subscribing like you've been doing for the past few months. It has helped the channel tremendously. Now, number two, and most importantly, this is not the end, just the turning of a new chapter in which we'll go back and review the older episodes, starting with the very first episode of Black Lightning, and be on the lookout for those real takes dropping every week as well. Now,
how do I say bittersweet man again? Oh, I'll tell you all.
Well, for a show that spanned just 4 seasons, including 56 episodes, plus, given the fact that the Painkiller series will not be picked up, this truly is a goodbye to a show that, despite its season's characters' issues and choices, started out, and in my opinion, began as one of the strongest CW shows. And yes, I know this season took us through a lot of feels, ups and downs, and straight up confusion, all kinds of stuff. But still, I think most fans will take this finale with a grain of salt, especially given the fact that who shows up towards the end of the first act. And trust me, we'll get there in a couple of minutes, but first, now one of, if not the biggest objectives for the team since the last episode was finding and destroying the emitter. And during our conversation as to what action should be taken, despite the fact that our team noticeably lacked any emotion upon hearing from Tobias that Jefferson was dead, I did, however, like the fact that a fire was lit under Anissa, and when she said Tobias needs to go down, in one of those rare moments, I was like, breathe, baby, breathe. Now, while all of this is happening, Tobias continues to make Freeland great again. Chief Lopez has already taken one of the meta boosters,
and she is tripping.
And Jen goes back into the ionosphere, which, whatever. But yes, mind you, during all of this, Jefferson has been alive and underground the whole time, kind of like an undiscovered hip-hop artist. But of course, this sequence really nails home the resurrection motif and the title of the book that we're in. And it is through this situation that we relive with Jefferson some of those moments that were past, as well as reflections of his long-past father. Now, during one of our initial flashbacks, when we first time traveled back to when Jefferson was much younger, we learn that Jefferson is dealing with a moral dilemma, having killed a gang member under Tobias' command. Jefferson equates his own self-defense to murder because of the memory of his father's death being so fresh in his mind. And it is here that we see just how much of a father figure Gambi begins to become to Jefferson, and why Gambi's perceived betrayal in the first season hits Jefferson so hard. Now, we also see who set Jefferson on his path as the hope of Freeland. And from this one scene, you can really see the potential for more episodes of, say, Anissa and Jen or Thunder and Lightning in the future dropped by Netflix, where more of Jefferson's past exploits, such as this one, can be used to help guide his daughters. But besides that wishful thinking, it's like I said in my episode 1 review for this 4th season, Jefferson's father was his first and, as far as we know, most influential role model, who, as we all know, was killed by Tobias. So it makes sense for this to be so prominent in Jefferson's soul, while he is so helpless and underground, almost as if he's dealing with this fate in purgatory, if you will. But in between all of this, after JJ left the ionosphere, the original, yes, the original Jen appears in the sky and flies down to confront her doppelganger. And when I saw this, man, literally, I was like, yes! But after my initial excitement wore off, the more certain questions began to flood my mind. Ones that we'll have to cover in a season 4 review. And yes, if you did watch the predictions portion of our last review, we kinda called it, but to be real with you, it was wishful thinking. Now, once the algorithm finally pinpoints the location of the emitter, once they get there, it really doesn't take much effort to take it out, because of Gambi being so tech savvy, which is another point to cover in our season review. But back to Jennifer and JJ. It turns out that all those pains and those high-pitched noises JJ has been experiencing was due to the original Jennifer being in her head, or trying to come back to our reality from the ionosphere or the glaze. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a nice twist. It was so very satisfying not only to see the original Jen, but for the two to fight it out. And in a scene straight out of the comics, Jennifer goes full-on energy mode and absorbs or evaporates her doppelganger, which I guess technically they're not because they don't look alike, but yes, we covered this in our Anissa and Jen character study as well, which if you have a smart device, the link to that will be at the top of this video. So now, once the emitter is destroyed, and also due to Jefferson pulling from the energy of the Prometheum, he summons his powers and breaks free from his grave, thus fulfilling the title of the book that we are currently in. So now, at this point in the episode, I'm thinking it's gonna go down.
Because I got God in my mind. I'm thinking about my people being free. And I can help with just one fight. Now he look little in comparison to what I'm getting from it. He ain't nothing now.
Like, that's the energy I had going into this fight. This is for all the marbles. The fate of the Pierce family's at hand. The fate of Freeland hangs in the balance. And well, they fight, and Jefferson wins. Like, that's how it really played out. Like, for example, while taking notes and watching the scene, it took longer to take my notes than the actual scene played out. So, to be completely honest, it was really anticlimactic. If they would have taken half of the portion that he spent underground and used the rest of that to lend to the length of the fight, it might have had a better or more complete feel to it. I mean, mind you, we've been waiting for these two to fight all season long, hell, all series long. And for it to play out like this, I mean, at this point, it just seems like the show just kind of ran out of money. I don't know. It just shouldn't have ended like that. Now also, when you take into consideration that the Painkiller spin-off series, as of right now, will not air, I wonder if the scene that we got with TC and Khalil was one of two scenarios. TC tells Khalil that he can isolate the Painkiller program, but in order for him to do so, Khalil won't be able to remember Jennifer. Whereas if the show was picked up, of course him and the new restored Jen would have went on many adventures together. Such a shame. And again, I just hope that Netflix or maybe even Freeform can pick it up. Now in closing, given the fact that we don't get to see some of those characters that have been in the series before, such as Val and what happened to Lauren, the end was quite bittersweet. It's like I said in my first review for this season, I've been watching the show since the pilot episode. I haven't missed a single one. And while the concept of this kind of show was executed to the fullest in the first few seasons, this last one, not so much. But I'm more so excited that China Anne McClain was able to finish out the show in style. And the fact that Lala survived, maybe there's hope another network will pick up the show. Well, that just about does it. Stay tuned in the Content Meta for more reviews just like this one. And also we will do a season 4 review, as well as start those retro Black Lightning reviews in the following weeks. Thanks so much for watching, and until then, see you then.